All right, we are back after a very, very painful and frustrating TZ Mephisto runs yesterday. We've got Andariel, our fave. So, getting ready for her to open up here in about the next 4 or 5 minutes. So, we are close. Looking forward to getting much better drops today than yesterday. So, yesterday I think I did about 73 Terror Zone Mephisto runs. Had very, very little to show for it. I think I only even jotted down two pieces of gear that dropped. We had a regular Andariel's Visage, and then a semi-interesting large charm. So for melee damage, physical damage. So kind of before we start the actual runs here today, just kind of introducing kind of what I've got here. So this is part of my massive 1,000 Terror Zone Andariel run project, and I'm at 912 runs so far. So we probably won't finish up today. Don't have enough juice probably to get through 88 runs to wrap that up, but we will be getting pretty close. And so this is all being done on single player, on players count 3 difficulty. I'm running with my sorceress with a full towel set for all the damage and the mitigation and the defense that's there. Just a traditional spirit with the 35% faster cast rate to hit that 105% FCR breakpoint. I've got a couple perfect Naggle rings with the 30% magic find. Since I've done a lot of Andariel runs, I've got plenty of unique rings to choose from. And then I've got my 49% magic find war traps, so those are pretty solid. On the charm side, this is where I'm weak. I've got a 38% Geeds for magic find. I've got my perfect cold sunder, which is nice, and my one and only cold skiller with +5 strength. This was actually my first skiller that I found, period, in single player. Lucked out that it was cold skills, but nothing since then, even with all the rerolls. And then a nice 15 all-res Grand Charm. Otherwise, just some other light magic find and resist charms down here. And my one and only Annie charm to go along with this. I actually filmed this recently, selling my one Stone of Jordan ring that I found on single player, and got this very middling, at best, Annie charm. But still more useful than an SOJ. So, all right. So we will be kicking off those runs as soon as Andy gets terrorized here. We've got just a couple minutes to that, so let's get ready. All right. Yes, Sparky. Certainly hope we get better results here tonight. So just a typical Blizzard Sorceress. We've got a pretty solid map here for Andariel. Could be slightly more optimized, but in a pretty good shape here. I've got my run counter set up. Hopefully we get a bunch of nice uniques. Check some things off the Grail. We got the Grail running in the background, so if we get anything to checked off the Grail, we'll get those lovely dongs. Yes, lovely dongs. So, all right, we'll be ready for her as soon as she starts, and we'll get going. I've got all the space. I've got my scrolls ready to go, and I'll get the timer rolling. All right. And as soon as she goes, we'll get in position now. All right, there we go. Terrorized. So I've been averaging about 45 seconds per run over the course of these 1,000, but that is, a little inconsistent depending on what's going on, and that counts inventory management, things like that, which can take a little while. So, I'm going to pull out almost all the uniques, and at a minimum take a look at them in case they are ethereal because I'm very, very slowly working towards an ethereal grail. So, all right, let's get going here. Should have actually picked up that white Grand Matron bow. Missed that. I always seem to see the things as I'm rushing and logging out of the game. So, not a unique, nothing from the Grail, but always want to take a chance on finding a really nice Runeward base. Okay, wow. 4 uniques. There's an ethereal one. I think I might have this already. Bloodrise, already have ethereal. Didn't get the dong there. I'll set it aside. This one also ethereal, but this is ethereal edge, which is always ethereal. And then Steal the Gold and this guy, Windhammer. You know, Ogre Maul, high item level, but nothing of interest there. So let's keep it going. Okay, now I am doing these on player count 3 just to get better drops than obviously player count 1, but this character is certainly strong enough to do higher player counts than this, probably fairly efficient at player count 5, but okay, I'm gonna stop and get myself interrupted there by a Shaco. All right, not bad. Already better drops than all of last night. Always love to see a Shaco, Harlequin's Crest. Duriel Shell is a nice low-level armor, but I think we got Sazabi's sword as well. So, Shaco 116. I'm trying to remember what the kind of the max is there. Nothing too special there on that. I think we can go up to maybe in the 140s, but wow. All right, Shaco. That's a good start. Already have it. Obviously don't need that from a Grail perspective, but really nice to see. So yeah, my current best Shaco is a 141 defense, so this is much lower than that, but really that's not an important stat, but it's the only thing that really has any variability, so only to call it. So all right, we have already surpassed yesterday's full hour of TZ Mephisto runs, and we are less than 3 minutes in, so not a bad start. So D2R owes us from last night, because last night was very, very painful. Got Drax Grasps, so this is always nice to see. I think I've only found one of these so far, so like to see that. I don't know off the top of my head if there are any ranges to the rolls on this, but I will certainly set that aside for my smiter, which is getting ready to be used here in the near future for my torch runs. Yeah, Drew, thanks for joining me, bud. Hey, it's been a rough 24 hours, so really nice to see that Shaco. Check off the list, get something pretty awesome to start. Let's go. Alright, and we'll see if I can make it this whole hour without dying. Be a little bit more aggressive on the full rejuves. Team has Rebuke. Dragon Shield. Already got that, but interesting one. Tear Haunch. Nope, and just don't need that. It is not ethereal, so keep rolling. Yeah, last night 73 runs of Terror Zone Mephisto, and essentially nothing to show for it. A non-eth Andariel's Visage, which, you know, is a nice item, but is not really anything super valuable or interesting. You know, nice to see an elite base with a man catcher, but Viper Fork has no value to me here. Yeah, Mephisto is a traditional great one to run, particularly online. You know, when you're running Mephisto, you only have to do that you find that one door, that one set of stairs moving up, which is really convenient. You do have that kind of map rule to always go one specific turn direction so that you know where to find. Oh, look, double Viper Fork. Back-to-back Viper Forks. Rare elite base, unique. Not very good though. So, all right. Yeah, Mephisto, you just need to make that, find that one exit, really quick and easy way to find a boss with Andariel online, you know, without fixed maps. Can be a little bit frustrating, a little bit annoying because you don't really have those map hacks, those rules on turning left or turning right. You can figure out how to get from Catacombs level 2 to 3, but then level 3 where you need to find the stairs to get to level 4, that is completely random. There is no hard and fast rule there, so it can really slow you down on those random maps. And then again, Mephisto was without terror zones. Mephisto was obviously a better choice. Higher level for the monster, better drops there. Andariel always being a great target, in particular for those elevated levels of jewelry drops. You know, going for those unique rings, the unique amulets. As I said, jewelry drops. And what do we got here? Crescent Moon. Not fairly rare one. Nothing too special, but fairly rare, unique amulet. Don't need that since it's not ethereal, so that's a cool find. All right, throw that in the stash and keep going. Yeah, up to run 921, just a little bit less than 80 to go. It's been a long slog, but I've really enjoyed it, and I've got some really pretty amazing drops. Terror Zone Andariel really is overpowered, as they say, from a drop perspective. Hey, playing Poison Resist, got the perfect plus 100, plus 11% roll. I'm actually using some Poison Resist small charms right now, so I'll throw that in the inventory, throw the other one back into the stash. Nice to have flexibility with some of those resist small charms, knowing that they can supplement whatever your gear is a little bit lacking in. So with those 922 runs now, we're at a little bit over 13 total hours of running this, kind of spread over a good month and a half at least. All right, 3 uniques. Let's see what we got here. Not ethereal, not ethereal, not ethereal. Nothing of interest there. It's cool to see 3 or 4 uniques drop. One of those early quad unique drops. Again, nothing awesome in that other time, but again, got that Shaco already, so already one really nice to have drop. Really hoping for some TC87 here tonight. Some special rare drops. Get something like a Death's Web or something like that. That would be really awesome to see that. Gargoyle's Bite. 14% lifesteal. 239. 197. I'm assuming that probably max rolls out at 200%. I'm gonna set that aside. Don't think that's quite the best throw barb item, but it's cool to see that that elite base throwing item unique. So that's cool. We'll set that aside and jot it down. All right, keep rolling. Runs are going just a little slow today, but have had a lot of things to identify and take a look at. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh, look at that aura, and that explains why I got insta-jibbed. All right. I really want that experience back, so I'm gonna take a shot and waste a little bit of time and try to go in there and grab my body and see if I can not die in extra time. It's a risk, but at this level, there's just a lot of experience tied up in each death here. Oh boy. Oh, gonna hurt. Gonna hurt. I'm gonna do something embarrassing here, I'm sure. This is pretty risky. Mix between trying to kill and just grab that body. Of course she's hidden here. Where the hell am I? Alright, we're just gonna kill everything carefully. Or not. He's down. Where's that body hidden? I see the gold pile. Damn! Alright, now I'm committed. I'm gonna make a whole pile of bodies.
The sisterhood welcomes you.
What a great way to show my ineptitude live on stream. At least when I'm just recording, I can kind of hide how poor the performance is, but right now, not so much. Oh, of course I laid that, so alright. Save that body till after I can get the other body hidden over there. You really sometimes forget about your faster cast rate and how insane that difference is. Where's the body? Come on. Can't even see the body.
Not enough mana.
Yeah, this is this certainly doesn't feel like entertainment on my side here. All right, so I can't go any worse, and I will be getting a large portion of this experience back after I recover those bodies. But oh boy, it's certainly slowing down the momentum. So if there was any momentum, I'm paying the price for that early Shaco drop. So let's get over there and let's harvest my corpses. Really struggling with that location though of the body right here behind. I clicked on it. I swear I clicked on it. Nothing. Eventually, the Merc will just take care of everything, but the body's right there. But there's crap in the way. Okay, slow him down. Get in there. Click. Got it. Okay. Now watch me die again. Okay. And there's a unique rank. But first, let's grab the bodies. Let's get the experience back, what I can. And there. Yeah. So that was... I'm going to say it's worth it from the experience perspective. Let's pay me off with this Stone of Jordan. Oh, no. Just a Dwarf Star. But... oh, boy. Alright. That was pretty rough. Oh. Embarrassing, slow, and cost me lots of gold. Not that the gold matters, but I'm actually kind of walking a thin line right now with the fact that I had used a lot of my stash to do a fresh gambling spree recently. So not a lot to play with here. Otherwise, I might actually have to vendor some items here. Oh, Now I have an opportunity to take 1 second and actually look at chat and see what Jahala had to say for watching that pain. Hey Ruggle, thanks for joining and you know, making me feel lovely about looking like a noob here. All right. Gnome, hey buddy, thanks for joining. Thanks for sitting here and watching me suck. All right, we are back at it. We are back at run 925, an actual real run. That last one clocked in at a wicked fast 5 minutes and 10 seconds. So, slowing down the average, let's put it that way. Andariel. Alright. Alright. Let's get moving. Let's find something good. At least for those of you that are just joining here recently, we did get a Shaco early on, probably about run 4 tonight. So already got something much better, much more valuable compared to last night's Mephisto run. So hoping for something interesting, something rare here. We're already getting, and how about that? Arachnid's Mesh. Sweet. So that best in slot by far. Caster belt, which is amazing to see. We got a grandfather. That is a classic as well. This is a pretty good run here. So, and then just Blast Bark. So those are really nice ones. Love to see Resurrected Mesh. I do have a couple of those already, so it's not like I'm checking it off in the Grail. But that's a nice reward for struggling through earlier. So here's our stash thus far. Resurrected Mesh. We got a Shaco and a Drax. So that's nice. Throw the grandfather over here. There is I don't think there's any variance on those, so nice to note that though. So we'll add that to the list. Arachnid's Mesh and another grandfather. Okay. All right, let's get back at it. I just remember how just absolutely iconic and cool it was to have that grandfather back in, I think it was, what was it, version 109, back in the early LOD days. You dual wield those if you're lucky enough to find them or get those, but it's just seeing even one grandfather on a whirlwind barb. Whirlwind barbs were just so powerful at that point. Guardian Angel is a nice armor to have with that additional maximum that you can have for certain resists, which is really nice to have in certain situations, particularly if you're doing Ubers or throwing on a Merc in certain scenarios. So nice to have there. But yeah, those giant grandfathers on a whirlwind bar back in the day was pretty awesome. Grandfather's really rare, but just that item that everybody knows about. The grandfather, the wind force, kind of before all the rune words came in and just kind of overpowered everything. All right, not ethereal, but Andariel's Visage. We got the I think the max is that 10% life steal, so that's nice, and we got a Hell Rune on top of it, so not bad. I think the against defense, nothing special though on this roll. 27 strength, that can max out at 30, so decent roll there too, so not bad. We'll add that to our list. Always looking for Eth there, but not currently using an Andy's Visage there. And you can never have too many Hell Runes with emptying out sockets to re-roll those rune words. All right, 929. Alright, we got our Griswold's Valor. I think I must have already had that no dong there. Orange Shard. That one does not ring a bell, but pretty sure I have that too. So, the Griswold's one, pretty rare set item, but nothing too spectacular either. Add that to the list just for noting the rarity there. All right.
Not here.
And let's keep going. Already by far surpassing everything from Mephisto last night. That said, didn't die to Mephisto. Certainly didn't die to Mephisto 3 times in one run. But still, it was not exciting, to say the least. Not as exciting as this. Alright. Tal Rasha's armor. Awesome. Let's see. Pretty good defense roll, actually. Breaking 900 is a pretty good one. Not quite my 912 that I have here, but this is obviously a really nice item to get. Have one here. I'm trying to look to put together another full set there for kind of a dedicated. Let me grab this ring and try not to die. Nothing there. All right, so Tal's armor, really nice. Wow. Talking to Drew early on about what were the chances of actually getting some good drops. Well, I think we're proving tonight is going to be a good drop night. We've already found enough useful items here in this short part of the hour. Only 22 minutes in, and a number of significant items. Now, no super rares yet. Arachnid Mesh, I think, certainly the rarest item that's on the list there. That also has value, but Tal's armor, great to see. Oh, I was clicked my empty slot there. Almost bitter. All right, nothing there. We'll reload on the full rejuves and keep going. Wow. Yeah, I really burned through those. All right, there we go. Okay, run 932, slowly progressing, getting that much closer to the run 1000. Gonna eat that a little bit. That one thing about Andariel here is you can sometimes teleport into a big pile of mobs, and with some of the affixes, ooh, chaos. Yellow. You can teleport yourself into some really interesting piles of mobs that could have some pretty terrible affixes and wipe you out real quick. You can get deleted pretty easily depending on what those combinations look like, and some of those guys can move quick, really powerful sometimes. You get that wrong aura, wrong affix, and just get deleted. Alright. Only need these in ethereal versions, so nothing of interest there. It's okay to go a couple runs without something. Yesterday, again, 73 runs, only two things even worthy of jotting down on the list, which is by far the worst I've ever experienced in Terror Zone, either Mephisto or Andariel, which is pretty crazy. Just really shows how overpowered these are from a unique farming perspective compared to, we'll call it the olden days of how this works. So, Diggler, that can rot on the ground though. Yeah, I mean, back in, even before Terror Zones, you know, Mephisto and Andariel, great spots to farm in a relative sense, but, you know, 73 runs, yeah, you might find a couple usable things, but you're not going to have a giant list of valuable items like you do right now in Terror Zones, so. Alright, Tarn Helm, that's always an interesting little item there. So continue to pick up all these low runes, just hoarding everything. The nice little benefit of playing single player with your unlimited characters slots, so you can just make as many mules as you want. So I'm actually getting pretty close to having enough supplies and materials to do a 100 caster amulet crafting session. Looking forward to that. I've never done a bulk crafting session like that. Nothing on that scope. So that'll be an upcoming video and activity. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity for that. So do pick up any rare boots, rare gloves to identify, just in case you get something cool like tri-res boots or 220 gloves. Lots of useful things there. So do pick those up just to ID them and see if there's something interesting. But it's been like 3 runs since something interesting popped. Let's see what we got here. Not ethereal. Ah, we got a grand charm. Cold Sunder. Worst possible roll. Not that I could beat my existing perfect Cold Sunder, but still, that was pretty horrible roll. All right, let's keep her going. All right, up to run 938. Last few runs have been picking up the pace a little bit, but that actually isn't always a good thing. Indicates that didn't get a useful drop in each of them. All right, we'll pick up those boots and just see if we got something cool in there. So we got a grand charm over here. Always looking for those skillers. Check out the boots. Nope, nothing there. Charm. And nope. I already have a big stockpile of high-level Terror Zone charms for rerolling, so I don't need to keep stashing these aside. So in a good position there for my supply there for my next Grand Charm reroll project, which those are some of my favorites. Yes, I happened to do 2 of those videos in the last month and a half. Need those skillers. Really need those skillers. Again, I'm only rocking 1 cold skiller right now. That's all I've been able to find. Do have 2 fire skillers in the bank, just ready to go in case or when I do switch over and have a dedicated fire sorceress for TZ Andy in particular, because she's weak to fire. But as of right now, just using Blizzard as a really well-rounded build here. All right. It's been now. These runs go so quickly. It's actually been 10 runs since we had the Tal's armor. So that's been a little while since we've got anything noteworthy. So it's about time. She owes us. Not this time. All right, keep her going. Run 941. I've got about 32 minutes left, so that'll put us. I'll put us over 975. Might get a close to 980 total, but we'll need that 1 more hour of this before we can wrap up the. Wow, there. See, those random affixes, when they can be that fast and that dangerous, it's pretty crazy what some of these mobs can do here. All right, I hate when this stuff kind of gets hidden, because you get too many drops. Alright, nothing there. Just my flawless. Gotta pick up all of the gems to convert over to perfects for all the rerolls. So, Drew, I am going for the full 1,000 runs. Put together a big compilation video. Probably be a 20, 25, 30-minute video with all the drops that I've got to highlight, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty indicative of, again, how overpowered Terror Zone Mephisto is. Not only does she drop a ton of jewelry, she's got like the highest, I don't know the exact term, like unique value. There's like a number that can help guide what sort of unique list you're rolling from. And hers is the highest. So we got our IK Soul Cage, and let's see what we got here with our unique amulet. Just a Nokozan Relic. I've got a whole pile of those rotting from all of the Andariel runs that I've done here. So certainly Andariel has been my best producer of rare items. A lot of value coming out of Andariel. Mephisto, Terrazone Mephisto has been really, really solid too. Just anecdotally, Andariel has been better by a bit. I think I've gotten 2 Griffin's Eyes from Andariel, and I think I've got 1 of those from Mephisto. That's the only kind of top tier rare that I've gotten, but I've gotten 3 of them. Those are highly usable. You know, I'd be interested in my Death's Fathom, my Death's Web. Things like that are ones I'm really interested in gathering up. Things that can really take a build to the next level or unlock a new build. Best rune on these runs. The best rune that I've gotten from these boss runs is, pretty sure, a Mal. I've only gotten 1 high rune total here on single player, so I kind of told the story a couple times, but really it was just a random players 1 difficulty Hell Cows and a Jaw rune drop for me. I wasn't even recording yet. It was, I think I was like level 82 or something. I was just kind of getting myself ready to go for some of these runs and preparing myself for all the recording, all the work, and this random Jaw rune drops, and it was just crazy. It felt really good, but at the same time a little disappointing because like I didn't have that video proof. But that's the only high rune that I've gotten. Nothing Vex or higher besides that Jaw. So pretty soon I'll be wrapping up these large boss run collections. Those videos kind of get pulled together, and then I'm going to be doing some other things that will kind of expand a little bit on both what I've got for the K-Hagens here. Check out the Dust Shroud. Oh, that's a very low defense roll in the Dust Shroud, so got better white ones to try to socket, so that's not important there. But I'll be doing some lower Kuros runs here on single player, a great way to grind up high runes. I'll be doing a project where going from 0 from scratch to build up both an Infinity and an Enigma. So those are future projects. I've got a lot of time currently that's been really locked up in these boss run videos. So I'll be opening up to some new things as I finish up these large run groups. So Gimmer Shed, and we've got Ethereal and my Grail tool thinks that I already have that one. That's interesting. Maybe I do. I've seen a couple times that's failed to. I failed to dong when it needed to with some of the ethereal ones, so I'll set that aside just in case, because for my Grail I do expect to keep everything in the stashes. So all right, about 25 minutes left, got plenty of time for a number more runs. Hopefully we will add some things to our pile, and as we wrap up tonight's runs we will go through the highlights of what has dropped and just kind of see if that meets expectations. From my perspective, I am already well ahead of what I would hope to get here from TZ Andariel. So hopefully our luck will keep going.
Not in town.
Just water today. I really should have been drinking last night when doing those Mephisto runs, because boy, that was rough. So what is coming up in the next few videos? Well, I've got my original 1000 Andariel run video, but that is just normal Andariel. So that is, I ran Andariel 1,000 times after playing through the game and using that as my opportunity as my first character here on single player to kickstart the Grail and also gear out the character. So kind of went into it. I had vendor blues, and I had all these very, very weak items starting at, I don't know if I think it's about level 81 or 82 to start that project. Ended up leveling a few levels, which honestly wasn't great from a leveling perspective, because even at that point, here with Naj's Circlet here, Act 1 just does not give, even in hell, does not give good experience once you're in the lower 80s. It's pretty crazy how quickly that drops off. So, but pretty amazing seeing the difference in the character between the start of those 1,000 runs and afterwards. Just really kitted out with good moderate value gear, but the huge power spike from the beginning to the end was pretty crazy and pretty cool to kind of see how that came together. And obviously it's always really exciting to just kind of see all these usable items. It's one thing to pick something up and identify it that is neat, valuable, you know, your Shaco or whatever, but you pick one of those up, you identify them, and then you get to equip them right away. You know, you replace some random gray helm that had 3 perfect topazes in it from Magic Find. You replace that with a Shaco, damn, that feels really good. So that first kind of gear out process is one of the most fun things about either starting a fresh single player, or if you're, you know, starting fresh on a ladder season. You know, that's one, in my opinion, one of the most fun parts of the game is going from 0 to kind of that hero build. All right, we've surpassed 950, 48 runs to go. We'll not get them all done tonight, but let's check off as many as we can. Andariel has been very friendly tonight, despite all of her threats to die as a maggot. All right, 4 socket, not value there. All right, keep her rolling. Some of these runs have been in the 30 to 35 second range. That's both a good and a bad thing. We want fast runs, but it takes a little bit more time to identify useful items. So I'd like to see a few of those runs get a little extended there because we find something cool. Hey Drew, what's been your favorite build of late? You do paladins? Is that your favorite? Summon skills, FCR, don't think so. Alright, we'll check this. You're always looking for an interesting pelt. 3 Armageddon, but not enough on its own for interest and values. Keep hitting slot 3 and running out. Alright. Let's kill Andy. Let's not die again. For those of you that joined late, thank you. You did not get to see my struggles with a 3 death run. Just terrible affixes, and then it took me a little while to get my bodies back, but I really needed to get that for
Not in town.
For that experience recovery, so. Oh. And one thing I do know is I am terrible at identifying what these different graphics mean. Like, is that thorns? Well, last time we had this, we had thorns when I got wiped out, but I think there was also something else going on that last time, so did lose our lovely Merc, so have to spend 50k and revive him. Drew is a paladin only player. Hammered in, I suspect. If you've had that opportunity to play with an Enigma where you can actually start teleporting, that must feel pretty good, because that's a big difference. I mean, Paladins are pretty mobile with charge and vigor and some other options for travel, but being able to jump in and telestomp with the hammered in It's pretty cool. Really opens up a completely different play style for you. So that's pretty cool here. Buckler is there. Told you. So this is one of those crazy things where, you know, if you don't find one of these drops very early on when you're playing through the game, we got this level 2 item, the Pelta Lunata, and here I am in hell, and it becomes an exceptionally rare drop because it is such a low level item. So we got our dong for the day, and it was from a level 2 required item, a little buckler. So cool to check something off the list, though. I do have a few of those very, very low level items that are left on the Grail that gradually will get checked off. Not sure if any of you saw, but Mr. Llama did a fairly recent project where he did what he called a Holy Grail speedrun, which is an accurate way of putting it. So what he did was he set it up so that he could run TZ Andariel 24/7, and he went from starting a level 1 character to completing a Holy Grail and seeing how quickly he could do that, leveraging all the different tools, all the different TZ options, primarily focusing on Andariel. Now, granted, he had to do a lot of other things to complete the Grail that included torch farming and all that kind of stuff, but a lot of the bulk of the actual Grail was accomplished by doing TZ Andariel, and I think the number was either 60 hours, 62 hours, or 69 hours, whatever. Either way, it was a ridiculously small amount of time that he completed a Holy Grail from scratch. Obviously, you know, slightly manipulated circumstances, but it really just shows how overpowered Andariel is when terrorized for what she can drop, particularly of uniques, high level, rare, treasure class 87 uniques, things that are just have minuscule drop odds traditionally when you're farming level 87 areas, 85 areas, excuse me. So Shadow Killer, multiple ethereals there. I think this only runs in ethereal, so that is not rare there, although a fairly high level item. So just amazing to see how quickly he was able to plow through that whole exercise. Now, he is not an average player. A lot of resources there, a lot of time, a lot of planning, a lot of experience with even just the base playthrough with the speed running and things like that. But just a very impressive experience, not to mention what it illustrates for how this is set up, how this is balanced, or the lack thereof of balance. Jin Slayer. Oh, there's a small one. Alright. AR. 4 AR. Don't think so. Alright, let's keep going. We've got 17 minutes remaining. We're up to run 961. We're making a really good dent in this. Get that heal quick. A really good dent in the remaining runs here before we hit 1,000 runs. But now that I think of it, I have not had an interesting drop in quite a while. So, Andariel, you owe us something. You owe us something useful. Ethereal, just checking on the socket numbers there. Alright. We need more dongs for the day. Last time we ran TZ Andariel, I think we got at least 3, if not 4 dongs. We got 3 new ethereal items last time. Actually, we checked off a number of ethereal ones, which was pretty cool. So let's check this. Not ethereal. Battle axe. Come on now. Chieftain. Actually, recently got that in ethereal form. So, all right, keep going. The other one was just Rock Fleece, which is not special, not rare, and since it's not ethereal, not something I care about. So we've got an upcoming video that'll be coming out with that kind of gearing from nothing 1000 Andariel run project. Shortly after that, I'm going to do a video around the Holy Grail tools and the options there, kind of walking through at least what I use, things that have been really helpful, and some of the options that are out there for running Holy Grails and the tools for tracking, in particular on single player, but there's some other online ones that work well there too. So those are things that are coming up. Pretty soon we'll be doing a little bit more torch farming, and I have just about wrapped up 1,000 Pindle skins run, which when you compare it to Terrazone Mephisto, Terrazone Andariel, it's pretty sad when you start going back to previous common farms. Now, I've never been a big fan of farming Pindle skin, but it's pretty much turned out how I expected. So a few random things here and there, but definitely not a gold mine for items, that's for sure. But did the work, want to be able to show so that you can consider it. It is something that you can certainly do as a filler if you're playing online. You know, it's a great thing to just run over there and do if you're doing, say, Telebale and you're just sitting in town, you want to get something done, you got, you know, a higher player count. Now, that being said, super uniques like Pindle drop the same number of items whether it's player 1 or, there we go, Diadem. Would have loved this to roll unique instead of set, but cool to see that Navina's True Sight. I've already got that, don't need this, but need to see that Diadem, that elite base drop there. So Pindle will drop the same number of items regardless of player count. So as minions, different. That's a different story there, but it's something that you can actually get value on running as player 1 games or single player games. So, but me being an idiot, I decided to run Pindle on players 8 difficulty. Now, it actually was a pretty solid leveling strategy. I was impressed and surprised with how good the experience actually was with that players 8, because Lidless Wall, that's a classic item, you know, before Spirit came out and just way overpowered everything else. But a lot of nostalgia there for Lidless Eye. Thanks, John. I hope you feed into my luck here. It's about time to get another solid drop. We'll go through the highlights again when the hour finishes up. We've got a decent stash to show already, so no more spoilers for those of you that are joining a little bit late. So we'll cover that at the end. All right, 12 minutes to go. Already at 968 for runs. Making good progress, but again, still 1,000 is unattainable here tonight, and that's okay. We'll close it out here in the very near future. Alright. Nothing here. Moving on. Ooh, that was a 27-second run. Not necessarily something to brag about when there's nothing dropping, though. I guess the one thing I can share, I guess, for those joining here a little bit later in the set of runs is at least you missed out early on. Might have died 3 times in one of the runs. Pulled some pretty nasty affixes, died once, and really wanted to get back the experience that I lost. So came in, died a couple more times finding those bodies, but did recover most of the experience that I had, so didn't want to lose those bars to that first death. So here as level 93, that experience comes pretty slow, at least for the way that I've been playing the game with doing the recording is mostly doing these boss projects. There's not a lot of experience to be gained here with some of these boss runs. So Tear Haunch, looking for the Tri-Res or something good there. Decent gold find, but not enough there to make that interesting for me. All right. Final 10-minute push. Let's see how many more we can get in before the end. And then we will look at our spoils. Whenever the timer starts to run down on the hour, always finding myself being a little bit more aggressive as to the skill, the kills, and kind of face tanking Andariel, which doesn't always go well, but at least I got my full rejuves to suck those down when I'm getting punched right in the face. Oh, there we go. This is gonna be a fun one. Trying to keep my Merc alive. Don't have a ton of gold left here. Alright. Flawless. Anything hidden here? Every once in a while with all of the density, it can be hard. Don't need that unless it was ethereal. Alright. 9 more minutes. We will be able to break 980. We'll see how far we get, though. So when I did the Tearzone Mephisto stream last night, we got 73 runs in, and that pushed me over the 500 mark, so I'm certainly much further ahead here. Alright, Executioner's Justice. Nice high-level item. Throw that aside. Just double-checking if any of these... Scalper, any of these... Nope, not ethereal. Not ethereal, don't need any of that. Check the boots. Nope. Alright, let's keep rolling. So, just crossed the halfway mark last night on the 1,000 Mephisto run project. Do have a much higher count here on Andariel because I never want to pass up TZ Andariel. Alright, let's finish strong here. 974. There's nothing special with that number, but maybe we'll get something drop for us. Alright, so looks like we've got a Geeds. Let's check it out. 39. Alright, that's a really small upgrade, but it's an upgrade. I'm going to take a second to go set this aside so I can reclaim the other one. And then the gold find on this one is certainly unspectacular, but 39% magic find, small upgrade. Usually I'm just out here trying to magic find, so that is an upgrade. We'll call it an upgrade because it is an upgrade. Geeds with 39% MF. Perfect. All right, we'll swap that out for that minimal, ridiculous gain, and continue on. 6 minutes to go. We can get at least 7 runs in here unless we have to talk about something amazing that was dropped. Alright. Check this. In the sky. Alright. Moving quickly now. Let's get another dong or get another useful, valuable, high-level item. Let's see if we can get something on that TC 87 list. Would be pretty amazing. My wish list would be a Death's Web or a Death's Vallum. I'm pretty sure I have never found those in my history of
I am overburdened.
Diablo 2. Alright, we've got Wraithflight Ethereal. I'm pretty sure that is always ethereal, so not special there from an ethereal perspective. Not ethereal there, so. Alright, let's keep going. Resurrect Asib. Asib? I think that's my guy's name.
Yes?
Asab, sorry. Welcome back to life. Alright, 5 minutes remaining. Push through, let's find something awesome here. We could outperform last night's full stream here from a drop perspective here in the last 5 minutes if we have a little bit of luck given how terrible it was on Mephisto yesterday. So feeling really good about our haul today. Plus, all the good stuff gets to go on the video. The 1000 TZ Andy run video. That has been, alright, so we got the IK helm. Actually haven't had very many of these drop, but I gotta zoom in so we don't miss this here. Not ethereal cutlass. Just checking our cold steel. Alright, always want to take a look at the pelts just in case we get something really cool. Nope, nothing special there. Alright, let's keep it up. Just a few minutes to go. So I've never really done voiceover videos. I'm always used to recording live with my face. And that's what these drop videos primarily have been, just recorded and not doing the commentary live. So that means that I've got to edit them up and then I've got to talk over the video. And I got to say, annoying and kind of annoyingly hard to do there. So much rather just talk and mumble into the microphone instead of doing a voiceover. All right, we've got just 3 minutes to go. We're at run 980. Let's see if we can get 4 or 5 more runs in, get something of value, something cool here. I'm gonna check up that side and see if we've got 4 open sockets there. Will likely eventually, many months from now, want to do what rune dropped. Oh, there's Hell Rune. Always love those. Let's see how many open sockets. 4. All right, I'll set that aside. Self-wheeled for self-wheeled infinity down the road, much further down the road. But that is something that is Scythe's nice way to actually wield that on your sorceress. So set these in here and get the last couple runs in. Ugly organization here. Alright. 2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining on TZ Andy. Alright. So as we wrap this up, got some good things to show. Let's see if we can pull out any more ethereals here. Nope. Alright, tank reds. Nothing special there. And keep going. Last minute and a half, thereabouts. We're up to run 982. The way we were trending, that I wouldn't have thought we'd have gotten that high, but we did. Oh, come on! Oh, fat fingered it. Great ending. Oh. Opened up my cube with a keybind, and then my binds did not work for the rejuves.
Good day.
Shh. Ugly way to end. Grabbing it. Need that body back now, though. Ruggle rejoined right at the time. Cannot blame Ruggle, because Ruggle is a good luck charm here. But, oh, crap. It's way to waste the end, and now I gotta get that body back. So, let's see what we got here. Alright, so, no longer terrorized. Let's find the body, though, right next to Andy. So, gotta clear it out, and then we'll take the embarrassment out of here, and we will... Come on. Alright. I know that there is a command that lets you not try to pick anything up, and recovering the body can be really frustrating sometimes. I feel like you're clicking on it. Alright. And clearly nobody has any tips for this recovering bodies because none of you die like me, so. Alright. Come on. Give me my stuff. Alright. Well, what a and dangerous way to pick up that mace there. Alright. Alright. Let's end this embarrassment and let's go take a look at what we got today, because despite that rough ending from the death, we've got plenty of things to take a look at. Alright. So, here's our spoils for tonight. Arachnid's Mesh wasn't the first thing that dropped, but really, really solid drop. There already have a couple of those, but always love to see Arachnid Mesh. We got our Shaco. That was the first meaningful drop. That was really cool. So, then we got Drax Grasp. Nice for the smiters, or, you know, if you need that, excuse me, if you need that life tap, that's really cool for doing Ubers in particular. So, Andariel's Visage with the max 10% lifesteal, decent strength roll there, 27 as well. Dalrash's Armor, it's great. Not quite an upgrade from the defense perspective, but still a decent roll, and love to see those lacquered plates in green. Not super useful, but Griswold's Corona rare item, pretty cool to see that drop. Here was our I think we only had that one dong here tonight, and that was it. The level 2 Pelta Lunata. It's always cool to see those low level items dropping on high level terror zones. I mean, they're actually exceptionally rare to drop, so kind of cool to check that off. Got a Executioner's Justice, you know, it's kind of cool item there. Grandfather, a classic. We've got 4 open sockets, Superior Scythe, just mostly for that self-wheeled Infinity down the road. Wraith Flight, just gonna keep that for a throw barb. I tossed this one in here as Ethereal. I'm pretty sure I've already got that. It didn't dong for me, but just keeping it just in case something was messed up there. Got our Gargo's Bite, just another high-level thrown item, and a Windhammer. Not particularly useful, but huge crushing blow and everything like that. Huge IS. It's cool to have that in there. For unique jewelry, we got a Crescent Moon. Pretty rare amulet to get. And then we got not rare Nokazan Relic, and then a Dwarf Star as our only other unique ring. So that's the haul for tonight. Blew away last night's Mephisto run. Again, Mephisto, we did a full hour of runs, 73 runs, and we had 2 mediocre items. We had a pretty comparable Andariel's Visage, in fact, a little bit worse than this one, and then a large charm. So this is a pretty solid haul. I feel like this is maybe pretty useful, pretty normal to expect from a full run of TZ Andariel. So pretty happy about that tonight. We've just got 18 more runs to finish up the 1,000 Terror Zone Andariel runs. So really appreciate everybody sticking around with me tonight, dealing with my 3-death run as well as the death on the final run, and looking forward to the final push and getting some of these big projects out in video form. So thanks for joining me tonight. Really appreciate all the participation, all of the chat, keeping me interested, keeping me engaged, and all the cool drops. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and I hope you have wonderful drops on your Terror Zone runs. I'll see you again really soon.